Well, I don't think I could have timed that much better if I'd have tried. Welcome back to the Holderness Coast. We're already set up and fishing. We've got 2 rods out today. I'll show you what we're using. The first rod out is my Achios Fury FX420, 5500 pen spin fisher, long cast on there. And on the end of this, the business end of this, I've just got, if you can see it, if it'll focus, this short pulley panel rig. And on there I'm fishing frozen blacks, very frozen blacks. Even though I got these out at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon and just left them in the back of the van, bait is still rock solid. And a bit of a change for the norm, I've got my pen spin fisher 7500 long cast on there. This time this is attached to my Sonic SK4. Great rod, used to be a favourite of mine until I got me Any Fish Anywhere. Unfortunately, when I was fishing Conway the other week, the rip there pulled my rod stand over and knocked a couple of eyes out of it, so I need to get out and rebuilt, which is a shame. So if you know any good rod builders, let me know, drop it in the comments. And then on the business end of this, all I've got is this pulley dropper, which I quite like. Surfs are pretty big. On the end of there I've just got squid and carp wrap. Come to Mappleton today. If you've been talking to me on Instagram or in the comments, I've changed my mind that much this week over what where we're fishing. It's given me a whiplash, to be honest. So tides aren't the best for the East Coast, but I was desperate to get out and on the cod run. So here we are. High tide today is at about 4:30 tonight, so I'm going to fish down to low water here and then head somewhere else to hit the high tide this evening. A couple of new things for me today. The wind noise, trying to edit out wind noise has been doing my head in. I appreciate you guys for sticking with it. So today I've actually gone and bought myself a proper microphone setup. Hopefully you can hear me alright. It's not particularly windy. Let me just tighten this down. It's not particularly windy today, although it was forecast it did go out strong winds. But I'm hoping this means that I can do a few more bits to camera like this. I've got no idea if this is working, so this whole clip might get cut out. But hopefully this means that I can do a bit more talking to camera whilst doing fishing, and also means it should help to get rid of some of the wind noise. Got here just after 7 AM this morning. It's been bitterly cold all week. It's -5 when I pulled up. Sat nav takes you over all sorts of back roads and stuff. Some were gritted, some weren't. So it was just a case of rolling dice and seeing whether you ended up in a ditch or not. So some roads 15 mile an hour with the traction control going absolutely nuts, and some people whizzing past you at 60 mile an hour. Let me just turn the camera around. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. The sun is just starting to appear. See if I can focus that a bit there. There we go. Look at that. Well, that might be a bite. That is a bite. Yeah, that's on. Alright, let me just introduce you to the second thing I'm trialling today. Yeah, that's on. Here's chest mount GoPro. Still kicking away, but I don't think there's much weight to this. It's not putting up much of a fight anyway. Could just be a good whiting. Oh, I don't know, it's woken up a bit now it's in the surf. What have we got? It's low. It's low. It is a whiting. Oh! No, it's not. No, it's not. There we go. I'll tell you what, let's turn round, see if I can't get that with the sunrise behind it. A lovely little cod. Right, let's run back up here, see if I can get this on camera for you. I'll tell you what, I'm already enjoying this. Like I say, I've got no idea if this audio is actually recording or not, but if it is, maybe I can leave this clip running the whole way through and just flick between the GoPro, so that hopefully you can see that on the GoPro. Like I say, it's new to me. I've literally just flicked it on then. I haven't set it up or anything. So top hook, circle hook on a pulley panel, straight worm, and let's see if you can see that. You might struggle to see that with the let me see if I can focus it a bit better. There we go. A lovely little cod to get us off and running, and the sun just coming up in the background. Let's see, how can I do it? There we go, look at that. That might be the thumbnail right there. It does look blurry as hell on that screen. See if I can sort something out. That looks a bit better. See if I can. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, let's get him back. Just running back down here. Steady on, mate. I'm trying to get you back. No whopper. But say, I'm just in the middle of doing the intro. I'm quite happy with that. Maybe this whiplash back and forth with plans has paid off. I know, mate, I know. Right, go on, Paul, get gone. I'm just going to stand right here. Is there? I don't know if you'll see him on the GoPro. Move that out of the way of the lens. Just going to stand here. Make sure he's probably in about a foot of water. It's nearly at the top of my boots. So he's got plenty of water to get himself. Get some air back over his gills. And he's gone. Well, cracking start. What a cracking start. And a cracking morning as well. Right, I'm going to pause all this. I'm going to get this rod back out and I'll bring you back. Right, well, I'm going to flip back onto my phone for a minute just so I can walk around with you, but it's an absolutely stunning morning this morning. Like I say, changed my mind no end of times with regards to where I wanted to fish. For me, the tides aren't brilliant today on the east coast. Like I say, low water's about 10, I think high water's at half 4, 5 o'clock, something like that. So I prefer, if I'm going fishing, I like to be able to fish two tides, two highs. It would have been better on Anglesey this weekend, but I've gambled, I've come to the east coast, and as you've just seen, so far it's paying off. I have seen hit and miss reports this week, and last weekend I guess, where some people are saying they're just getting weeded out, wasting the time, and really not doing very well. And then other people saying that I've seen £5-6 cod caught off the coast this week, so it's going to be one of them. It's make or break, really. So on the left-hand rod, I've just put out a fresh squid and the carp wrap. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Oh, let me drag up your dickhead. Striking tough fish. Oh, you dickhead! I think I just missed that. In that loose. Oh, that looked like a good fish as well. That. Oh, let's give it a minute. Yeah, idiot. Time we're at now, it's just coming up to 8 o'clock, so I've not been fishing for an hour yet. Probably been fishing for half an hour and we've already had that one codling. I'm going to fish maybe till 10 or 11. I'm going to fish it all the way down to low, back up an hour, so yeah, probably till 11, and then so I'm going to shoot off about 11 o'clock, try and find some bait, and then go and get anchored down and fish hopefully 3 hours up over high water and a couple hours down into the night tonight at a different spot, which again I still haven't actually made my mind up where I want to fish. Might be Hornsey, but given that I'm only about a mile and a half away from there, it might not. I keep playing with the idea of going to Scarborough and up that way. It means it's a bit of a trek home. I don't think I'm going to go as far as Whitby, maybe. I really haven't decided. Like I say, king of indecision. Not a clue where I want to fish. Even on the way here, I was flicking backwards and forwards. Do I go to Hornsey? Do I go further south? One thing I did know, that given how much it's rained over the last couple of weeks and how cold it's been this last week, didn't want to have to scramble down some muddy, sludgy cliffs and ended up covered in crap. Anyway, I'm going to go sit down 5 minutes, shut up rabbiting, and just enjoy this sunrise. Fair walk down to the water line now. About another 3/4 of an hour or so to go till low water. That's interesting. Like I say, I'm not a fan of fishing low water, so it's interesting seeing this mark. For example, the end of the breakwater there, just how bottomed out that is. Well, that's what's giving them little knocks. A well hooked but then lassoed little dab. Oh no, wait a second. Take that out. Look at that, nice big hook so we can't swallow it. Lovely little, I'm pretty sure that's a flounder given the size of its tail. Let's watch him go back. Off he goes, like a little rocket. See you later, little buddy. I tell you what, this really is good for the soul. A nice little surf on, listening to the waves, watching the sun come up. I don't think you'll get much better than this, to be honest. If you're new to the channel, I am really keen on breaking the stigma around men's mental health, or just mental health in general, to be honest. So in the interest of honesty, I'm going to say I am struggling at the minute. For those who don't know, we had our first kid, Jack, back on the 2nd of December. He was 13 weeks premature. There's been some ups and downs with that, but to be honest, he's doing really well at the minute. He's out of all the incubators, he's off the baby therm, he's in a normal cot, he's off the oxygen, and I've just had the text to say overnight he's had his first feed via bottle. Trying to balance work, walking the dogs, eating right, all that sort of stuff. I've piled on the weight because, to be honest, once I've finished work, been to the hospital, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock before you get home. It's hard then to cook a healthy meal, so 9 times out of 10 we end up ordering pizza or just grabbing something that we can chuck in the oven quick. I guess the mantra that I kind of live by, and whilst this has started to sound all spiritual and shit, it's not. It is what it is. It is what it is. There's no point, I don't see any point in worrying about stuff that hasn't happened yet. What will be will be. There's a quote to back that up by the Dalai Lama, and I'm going to stuff the quote up, and the quote goes something like, if it's in your control as such that you can do something about it, then there's no point in worrying, because you can change it. If it's outside of your control, then worrying will have no effect, so there's no point in worrying. Something along them lines anyway. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if you're struggling at the minute, have a sit down, write down what it is that you're struggling with, cross off the things that are outside of your control, and focus on the things that are inside your control and the things that you can change. That's the only tip I can give you, really. I can't get in, I'm not a therapist, but honestly, just write down the list of shit that's bothering you, pick out the things that you can take control of, and on that point as well, don't let your thoughts get to you. You can be your own worst enemy at times. I found when I was really struggling last year, most of that was my thoughts just running away with me. Take a notepad. If you know, like now, last year what I started doing was, when I was fishing, taking a notepad, and while I'm thinking things, writing them down. And then once I got a page full, or once I'm sat there and I wrote all this shit down, just go through it. Half of it will be utter bollocks that you're just overthinking in your head. Half of it will be completely outside of your control. So like I say, as hard as it is, don't worry about it. What will be will be, and then just focus on the things that are inside your control. Anyway, that's enough spiel from me. I hope you're all doing well. If you are struggling, like I say, Instagram, I've got an Instagram account. Drop it in the comments if you feel up to dropping it in the comments. If not, I've got an Instagram account. It's an open page. I have noticed some of the some messages have gone into a requests folder, but now I know where that is. I'm going to be checking that more regularly. So feel free to drop me a message. Don't suffer in silence. That's the worst thing you can do. I've got no qualifications in any of this stuff, but what I am trying to do is just normalise talking about it. Let's get back to the fishing. Well guys, it's always worth coming for a bit of a mooch round at low water, because, well, this is why that one's not even connected to anything. So that one's a free weight. There you go, that's one weight. I'm going to unclip that from there, take that weight, but that's the here, because trying to do your bit, if you can, make the place a bit better. Let's see if we can get some of this crap out of here. There we go, that's better. Some of that. I don't think I'm going to get that bit out, but come home. So there we go, a bit of line out of the water. And for my efforts, I've gained 2 weights. Time to carry on. It stinks of shit down here. Carry on just having a bit of a mooch about, see if I can find a couple more blown into the rocks somewhere. Like I say, always worth a look. You don't know what you're going to find. Well, weeds becoming a pain in the arse now the tide's turned. That surf's picked up, so the rod tips are bouncing around like a hooker on payday. And yeah, it's becoming a bit of a faff. Plus, somebody's decided to come and set up probably 10 metres away from me with this big tide running. So I'm just waiting for him to put his first rod out, cast straight over the top of me. Which will be really good. Anyway, last baits are out, last casts are out. If I catch a fish, I'll bring it back. If not, I'm going to get wrapped up, head up north, get settled down for high water, fish through the night, I think, somewhere, and I'll see you on the next video. So really, there's nothing more for me to say other than take care, look after yourselves, and tight lines. Well, greedy little bugger has taken 3 worms and a 4.0 hook. I mean, look at it, the hook is about the same size as its head. Anyway, last cast fish, Lucky he is. If it weren't for the fact that I'm moving spots, he'd make prime cod baiting.